Hi friends, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and if you're new here, hi. This is a channel where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out this week or thereabouts recently. And we go through in alphabetical order. There's a list down below that will show you kind of where we're at if you'd like to skip ahead or just only see a few things and then go to the price list directly. Okay, just to show you what's out today. Some of it. God, there's so many new things out. I normally start with a pick of the week, and my pick for you this week is the Murder Capital. And this is called Gigi's Recovery. It's on the label that's called the Human Season Records. Okay, so this is Ireland's Murder Capital, and they return here with their second studio album, and it was produced by John Congleton, and he has produced the likes of Death Cab for Cutie, Angel Olsen, so nice roster to be on. Anyway, of this album, the band says that the story of Gigi is about returning to a place of strength and taking control of the few things that really matter. Gigi's recovery looks to the future by owning the past. So that's where they're coming from on this one. It's their debut was called When I Have Fears. It was critically acclaimed also, and they've opened, they've been on tour for an opening for Idols and for Pearl Jam, and this will resonate with fans of Joy Division and Radiohead and Fontaine's DC especially. I thought, I know they're both Irish, and I don't mean it just because of that, but it does have a similar kind of musicality. So if you like those bands, you'll probably like this. Now you can get this two ways. There is the indie exclusive, which is clear pink vinyl, and that's notated by this pinkish kind of sticker. The black vinyl just has the regular sticker like that. And we do have the CD available as well. Now, the other nice treat, if you're a local yokel and you come in and buy this, you can get 3 little badges. The picture of the album cover, the name of the band, and the name of the album. Sorry, this is real hard to show you up close without having it blow out by the lights. Okay, so that is my pick for you this week. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is there's a load, you guys, of new releases this week. And we can't sit here and just chit chat all day. I know none of us have time for that. So you will see on the list there's going to be titles represented that we're not going to go through here because we just can't. Got to get going. It's Friday. Let's get out of here. But anyway, put the question to you. Would you like it better if I just picked 5 or 6 titles, and then are you really here just to see the list and then get out of here? I mean, sometimes the videos run long. I realize that, up to 45, 50 minutes sometimes, and maybe you don't want to sit here listening to it. It's very hard for me because I try to go fast, but there's always an interesting story or something about these, and it'll run on so long. So tell me what you would rather do. If you want just like 5 or 6 picks and then just the list, man, just the list. Give me the prices and get me out of here. Or I don't know if you like hearing story time. You tell me. Okay, so there are lots of things, and I'm going to get started. Let me just move this over here for later. Okay, let's get started. First up. Okay, now I'm trying to situate myself so nothing is precarious and nothing's gonna wobble. Okay, this up is Amnesty, Free Your Mind. It's on Now Again Records from Indianapolis. The Lost 1973 album, progressive funk meets sweet soul, sampled by Kanye West for Lift Yourself. It fuses like Hendrix's rock, Funkadelic's expansive grooves, and Temptations style vocal harmonies. This is the indie exclusive. It's on turquoise vinyl and it does tell you that. Okay, next up, this is another one that's in part of the Rhino Spark Your Ear Off Right campaign. This is the B-52's Whammy, and this is that Spark Your Ear Off Right. It's going on all through January, so that's why things trickle in. Whammy is the 3rd studio album by the American new wave band B-52s. It was originally released in 1983. This is the 40th anniversary of the cult classic, and it features Legal Tender, Song for a Future Generation, and Whammy Kiss. It's on limited edition clear with green splatter. And does it tell you that? It just says limited edition splatter vinyl, but it is clear with the little green specks. That's what it is. So next up, we have Bad Brains. Youth are getting restless. This is through Org Music. That's their label. The Youth are getting restless is a live album from Bad Brains. It was recorded at the Paradiso Theater in Amsterdam in the Netherlands in 1987 by the V Pro. Now, it says, I was like, what the hell is a V Pro? But it supports 4K Ultra HD resolution for recording, live viewing, and playback. But did they have that around in 1987? That kind of didn't really make sense to me. So I don't know. Maybe you audio heads out there, you know more about these things. I'm not sure. But anyway, the show was part of the band's Eye Against Eye tour. This reissue marks the 6th release in the remaster campaign, relaunching the Bad Brains Records label imprint. Okay, in coordination with the band, Org Music has overseen the restoration and remastering of the iconic Bad Brains recordings. The audio was mastered by Dave Gardner at Infrasonic Mastering and pressed at Furnace Record Pressing, the first pressing in over 20 years. This is an indie exclusive. It's on transparent blue vinyl, and that is indicated on the sticker. Okay. Then next up, this is the Bad Ends, The Power and the Glory, and this is on New West Records. Now, the Bad Ends are a band of veteran musicians from Athens, Georgia, featuring the likes of Bill Berry from REM, Mike Manatone from 5/8, Christian Lopez from Curly Maple, Jeff Melkonen for the Josh Joplin Group. Okay, and local guitar shop owner Dave Demizzi. Gosh, I hate butchering people's names, but it's hard. I'll say, okay, their New West Records debut, The Power and the Glory, was recorded at the legendary local studio Espresso Machine, and it features a lot of guitar-driven songs. And as far as I can tell, it's straight up good old black vinyl. All right, next up is Black Star Riders, Wrong Side of Paradise. This is through Earache Records. Now, the former Thin Lizzy members return with their hugely anticipated 5th studio album. Black Star evolved from the touring version of Thin Lizzy that was assembled by guitarist Scott Gorham after the death of Thin Lizzy's leader, Phil Lynott. So Wrong Side of Paradise features 11 tracks that was recorded in the fall of 2021 at Studio 606 in Northridge, California, and Tune Sound in Redmond, Oregon. So the official music video for this LP's first single, Better Than Saturday Night, features backing vocals from Def Leppard's Joe Elliott. Wrong Side of Paradise is an anthemic statement of intent driven by ferocious guitars and thundering drums. Okay, and again, another one, as far as I could tell, that one's on good old black vinyl. All right, this is Art Blakey, Hard Drive 2022, and this is through Bethlehem Records. It's a classic hard bop album recorded in New York City in 1957, featuring Bill Hardman, Johnny Griffin, Junior Mance, Sam Dockery, and Spanky DeBrest. Next up, this is called Bushamana and the Big Band Brothers Band. It's called Indian Dream. This is on the Don Giovanni label. Hopi native Bruce Hamana, he recorded his psychedelic loner folk classic Hamana almost entirely by himself. So for this, his follow-up, he's enlisted some help to produce a full band studio album. And it's of solo-laden rural psychedelic rock. This is like really interesting stuff. It was originally released in 1981 in a very small pressing. So now this has been remastered from the original tapes, and you can get it pretty readily. Okay, this is interesting. This is John Cale, Mercy. It's on the Domino label. Mercy is the 17th studio album by Welsh musician and composer John Cale. Now, if it's not coming to you who John Cale is, he and Lou Reed co-founded the Velvet Underground together, and John Cale actually, has recorded many other things since that time, as Lou Reed did. They went their separate ways. But anyway, it's John Cale's first album of new songs in over a decade. And it features guest appearances from actress, Animal Collective, Sylvan Esso, Fat White Family, Laurel Halo, T-Shy, and Ways Blood. And Mercy provides another delicious example of an esteemed old-timer triumphantly pushing his career frontiers into a much shifted modern age. So having reached the ripe age of 80 years old, last March, John Cale unravels his long-earned wisdom and worldliness into this album. And this is on Black, or the indie exclusive, which is Translucent vinyl. Now, when they say translucent vinyl, I'm thinking that it's just clear. This one here, you have to look at the sticker. It says standard, that means black, or it says indie retail exclusive translucent violet vinyl. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I didn't have that on my other note, but it's violet. And if that weren't enough for you, look at that. There's a CD too. Okay, next up is Carnivore, and this is self-titled. It's on the FDDL label. Carnivore is one of the most unique bands ever. Their first album was their introduction to larger-than-life vocalist bassist Pete Steele, who, even though Typo Negative's epic brand of gothic metal was still just a glimmer in his eye, in retrospect, you can already recognize the fascinating range of creative contradictions that would always characterize the 6'7" man's work. So Petrus Steele, as he was calling himself, guitarist Keith Alexander and drummer Louis Bateau generally focused their energies on this incredibly brutal and intentionally raw, full-on thrash outs like songs like Predator, Carnivore, and Legion of Doom. Plus, they wore the Mad Max apocalyptic cavemen kind of attire on their album's rear sleeve to back it up. It's not shown probably on the insert here. Anyway, this reissue comes as a limited edition neon yellow. It tells you that right there. So yes, that was one. And next up, okay, another Carnivore reissue. This one is Retaliation, and this is on that same FDDL label. So no one in the New York crossover metal scene could make a guy laugh like Carnivore frontman Pete Steele. So whether it was the Vomit in the Toilet track, Jack Daniels and Pizza, which opened the band's second album, Retaliation, or the crudely drawn, obscene Sharpie renderings that Steele would scribble on passed out musicians and crew members, Steele was a one-of-a-kind, and his perverse oddball sense of humor infiltrated and enhanced his viciously aggressive blend of hardcore and metal. So let's see, there's another indication of Pete Steele's immense gift for songwriting and talent that he would demonstrate time and time again. You can hear on this. It's in between 1991 and 2007 with Typo Negative. You hear the beginnings of that in these Carnivore records. This is the vinyl reissue with the original cover and the bonus tracks as limited edition gatefold double album with light green colored vinyl. Okay? Whew, that's a mouthful. Next up, this is Cloud Nothing's Attack on Memory Deluxe. This is through Car Park Records. Now, this is the 10th anniversary edition, and it comes with 2 flexi discs with bonus tracks. One is Jambalaya, and the other is You Will Turn. So Pitchfork called this one of the best albums of 2012. And in the deluxe edition here comes on sky blue vinyl. I believe it says that on the sticker. It does. Okay, so they're kind of getting a little better with the stickers this week. Anyway, right? This is the Cool Greenhouse. It's called Sod's Toasty on Melodic Records. Since the release of their acclaimed debut in 2020, supported by DIY and NME, the band's breakout track Alexa has garnered over 500,000 plays, and they've played throughout Europe, including a host of festival slots, and they've been playlisted by bands such as the Gorillaz and Yard Act. So with Hard Rock Potato, the first single from their sophomore LP, Sod's Toasty, the band are set to continue their upward trajectory and capitalize on their numerous successes here. So this is for fans of like The Fall, like me, like I love The Fall, I Ludacris, Ron Johnson Records, etc. Okay, and next up, this is Damon, Song of a Gypsy. This is on the Now Again label. One of the best, most essential entries in the psychedelic rock canon. This has been an impossible to get but must-have record for many decades for collectors. So this is singer-songwriter Damon. His real name's David DeConte. He put out extremely obscure folk-tinged psychedelic album in 1969, Song of a Gypsy, of which only 100 copies were pressed. So the gypsy element of Song of a Gypsy is not just a extrapolation of the title, but a deliberate action on Damon's part, who came to think of himself as a gypsy while wandering around California in the late 1960s. So some have described as folk or folk psychedelic. It is in fact tranced out gypsy Arabian acid fuzz crooner psychedelic with deep mysterious vocals and an amazing soundscape. Excellent songwriting. It's on indie exclusive clear vinyl. And it tells you that there too. So wow, that's finally readily available. Okay, this is Fairy Dimmy. It's called Rhythm. It's on the Acid Jazz label. The Meeting of Two Great Reggae Artists is reissued on LP for the very first time. It's a must-have for reggae roots and dancehall collectors. It includes Johnson's fabulous take on Sitting in the Park and French's protest No War. So it was recorded at the legendary Channel One recording studio in Kingston, Jamaica. It was remastered at Sound Mastering, and it's presented in a deluxe sleeve featuring original artwork by Wilfred Lemonius, and it's on red vinyl. And I think it also does tell us that. Yes, it does. On the sticker, it will tell you that it is red vinyl. All right, next up, this is Duke Ellington. It's called Duke Ellington Presents 2022 edition. It's on Bethlehem Records. All right. Duke Ellington Presents was recorded for Bethlehem in 1956, and it's unusual that it consists mainly of standards. On it, Duke Ellington and key soloist work wonders on such chestnuts as My Funny Valentine, Summertime, Laura, and the Rosetta Stone of Bebop, I Can't Get Started, plus a few choice Ellington originals. So Duke Ellington Presents is an accessible entry point for newcomers and as well as overlooked gem for many Duke Ellington fans. So that is here now. Next up, Roky Erickson and the Explosive Live at the Whiskey, 1981. This is on the Sunset Boulevard Records label. The Whiskey was a special magic night of music. Roky was on top of his game, and the Explosives were a well-oiled machine capable of musically turning on a dime with never an apple falling from the cart, you could say. The proof in that statement was when, as they were walking on stage to start the show, Roky turned to his band and asked, do you guys know the song Heroin by Lou Reed? And they were getting all plugged in and they were like, no. So Roky launched into, you guessed it, heroin, and they just had to keep up. So the results are on this record. It's the first track on this record, and it's on black and white marble vinyl. So that is really something. Next up, Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Pinata, the 1964 version. So this is on Madlib Invasion. After the original release, Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's Pinata in 2014, cover artist Jeff Jank made a new sleeve for the album in the style of a 1964 Blue Note album. Around the same time, artist Pathetic Pixels created his own version of Pinata as a 1970s blaxploitation movie poster. So both of these design concepts existed only in the digital realm until Record Store Day 2020, when each were prepared as limited edition releases. Well, now here it is as a mainstream release, and it's on black and sky blue vinyl. It has kind of like a section of black and a section of sky blue. It goes around the disc like that. So that is available too. Next up, this is Adam Green, and you might remember Adam Green from Moldy Peaches, but here he is on his own, and it's called That Fucking Feeling. It's on Capitaine Records, so the New Yorker, Adam Green's 11th latest solo album. The album places large-scale wall of sound style productions alongside home recordings done during COVID-19 quarantine. So when talking about the tracks, Adam says, I wanted to release something home recorded. Back in Moldy Peaches days, I used to record everything at my parents' kitchen table, but it's been 20 years since I put out something like that, and I wrote a few songs in quarantine singing into my laptop, and I like how direct that feels, and not every song has to be big, It's just a little song that he felt like a sweet moment was captured. So he says, I think of myself as a singing man, and maybe that's how I'm most comfortable in life. So that's his new one. Okay, this one is a reissue of Groovy Ghoulies World Contact Day. It's on the Pirates Press record label. The album is arguably, at least for many, the crown jewel of the Kepi catalog. Undoubtedly, the Ghoulies' best-selling album, World Contact Day, fueled numerous worldwide pop-punk escapades and not only firmly put this band on the map, but made sure that they would be a landmark for generations. So from beginning to end, this album carries the passion, speed, silliness, and splendor that so many have come to love for this band. This album is one that deserves to be available in any record store, anytime, anywhere, and it's truly a must-have in any pop-punk collection. Pirates Press Records could not be more proud to reissue the World Contact Day with that goal to make sure that the kids and adults all over the world can get a beautiful copy of this spectacular pop-punk living time capsule on vinyl. And should have probably put it on colored vinyl, but I believe it is on black, but I don't know, it just seems like to commemorate that it would have been kind of fun. All right, this is Bruce Hack, The Electric Lucifer. It's on Columbia, an album by Bruce Hack combining acid rock and electronic sounds. A psychedelic anti-war song cycle about the battle between heaven and hell. Hack used a Moog synthesizer and his own home-built electronics, including an early prototype vocoder. So this is psychedelic rock, electronic dance music, electronic acid rock, all combined in one. Okay, then this is another one that is part of the Spark Your Ear Off Right campaign through Rhino. This is Hot Tuna. It's called Burgers. This is celebrating 50 years of their debut solo album. It's a limited edition of transparent orange vinyl. Okay, then we have Catatonia, Sky Void of Stars. This is a double. It's on Napalm Records. So founded in 1991, Catatonia have continually embraced the dark and light alike, and living through genre evolutions beyond compare, ripened their own particular form of expression. So from doom and death metal to soul-gripping post-rock, they've explored endless spheres of the genre, accumulating only the very best aspects. And yeah, so here you go. This one, again, I believe, just black vinyl. I don't think there's anything colored about that one. Okay, this is going to surprise you. There's a new KMFDM. It's called Hyena. It's on Metropolis Records, and they've forged their own singular path over like 38 plus years, refining and redefining the parameters of modern music. They never miss an opportunity to address the social and political zeitgeist in brazen and belligerent and boisterous fashion. Hyena marks the 22nd studio album from the ultra heavy beat, and what title could be more appropriate as the band laughs mockingly at the frayed and frantic state of world affairs. So nearly 4 decades on, KMFDM continues to keep it real for you as Hyena proves to be among the group's leanest and meanest efforts, feeding fuel to the fury. So that's an interesting one. This is Christian, Southern Storm, and it's on Listenable Records. Now, Christian, yeah, it's a Brazilian death metal band, okay? So they formed in 1990. Southern Storm is their 7th studio album. They are about exhilaration, loud, dense, pummeling exhilaration taken to a brutally heavy extreme. Christian vinyl catalog has been sold out for many years and much sought after, and now available again from Listenable Records in updated layouts and specially mastered releases in limited edition colored vinyl with bonus tracks. Now, this is on transparent red vinyl, and yes, it does say that for us on the sticker. We love that. Okay, next is a Run Out Groove. This is Caius, Muchas Gracias, the best of Caius, through Rhino Custom Indie Retail. Now, Caius, of course, is the premier early band of Josh Homme from, Queens of the Stone Age and Eagles of Death and all that. Anyway, we love Josh Homme. And this is a compilation album by the American stoner rock band Caius, originally released in 2000 through Elektra Records. And though Although it was promoted as a best of album, this is mostly, it features rare tracks and B-sides, and it includes only 5 tracks from from the band's 4 studio albums. So this is a Run Out Groove release. It's a limited edition on blue vinyl with Run Out Groove. Sometimes they tell you on the label like exactly how many they made, but that's not the case on this one. It just says limited edition. But yeah, it does. They are numbered, and this is number 3,488. So I don't know. Maybe they did like a 5,000 run. I'm not sure. Maybe we could look it up on Google or something. I don't know. This is Ladytron, Time's Arrow. It's on cooking vinyl. And this is the 7th full-length studio release from this British electronic pop band Ladytron. It took over 2 years to complete due to COVID-19. And defying the years and possibly expectations, Time's Arrow sees a band that is revitalized and creating music whose rare qualities of nuance and complexity kind of flowing in this dreamlike state where it's like, darkness loses the battle against light, or if you prefer, kind of a simple collection of great synth pop songs. It's on transparent vinyl. Again, when they say transparent, I'm assuming it's clear with that's all the sticker says, is just transparent vinyl. Okay, this is Matt Mason, and this is Never Had to Leave. It's on Atlantic. It was originally released in August of 2022. For Mason, the making Never Had to Leave. It fulfills the restless creativity and relentlessly fueled his musical output. Okay, as he reveals, the process of creating Had to Leave reaffirmed the need to work at his own pace and follow his instincts without compromise. It takes on a stunning tenderness as Mason opens up about the infinite complexities and nuances of love. And again, I believe that's just black vinyl. You might have expected red. Kind of thought maybe too, but black it is. Maneskin or Mainskin. I think it's Maneskin. It's called Rush. These guys are getting a lot of buzz. This is on Arista Records. It's their 3rd full-length release. They're an Italian rock band. Maneskin features a guest appearance from Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello. I think that's on the song called Gossip. Yes, it is. And the band is a critically acclaimed 4-piece rock band that began busking on the streets of Rome as teenagers, and now in just a few years they are a razor-tight group of captivating musicians, widely hailed for being at the forefront of driving a worldwide resurgence of rock music. The self-assured swagger that enlivens the 17-track Rush emanates like from a focused attack of the band members whose playing just really, is full of attitude. So here they are, and was that? Gosh, another one. I would have thought this would be colored vinyl. Just because colored vinyl is just such the thing now. I'm always kind of surprised when things are just turning up in black vinyl. Okay, this is Marlowe. It's called 2, and this is on the Mellow Music Group. Now, this is North Carolina-based hip-hop producer L'Orange and rapper Solemn Brigham are Marlowe. Quickfire vocals, dusty breakbeats with dazzling cinematic scene. L'Orange crafts a world. This sounds like an old-time medicine show dropped in 90s Brooklyn. Okay, and that is 18 tracks on that one. This is MC Lars, Blockchain Planet on the Needle Juice label. MC Lars is a nerdcore musician from California who's he produces what he calls post-punk laptop rap. That's a thing. He's probably most well known for his song iGeneration. It's a take on this generation's plugged-in mentality. This is on 180 gram planetary blue-green swirl vinyl, and it does tell you that on the sticker. All right, this is Motorhead Sacrifice. It's through BMG Rights Management UK. Sacrifice is Motorhead's 12th studio album. The album was originally released in March of 1995. It is the second and last album to feature the 4-man lineup of Lemmy, Phil Campbell, Wurzel, and Mikey D. So Lemmy, proud of this album, is quoted as saying, This is a very good album. Put it on your system and your girlfriend's clothes come off. The title track was still a live favorite up until the band came to an end, and it will be available here on transparent orange vinyl, and it is indicated on the sticker here too. We're doing good. We're batting 1,000 with the labels, huh? Okay, these are interesting because this is Lionel Pillay. This is called Deeper in Black. Now, this is on the We Are Busybodies label. Now, Lionel Pillay was a South African pianist. He died in 2003 under obscure circumstances, and he was forgotten by the public. He was a musical genius, and he is perhaps the most deleted, the most criminally neglected jazz artist of the apartheid era, removed from the public view through vicious regulations. South Africa, that was they were very rigid in those days. So although Pillay was a great arranger, Deeper in Black, it also showcases the exquisite original composition and album opener, Blues for Yusuf, with its shimmering keys, funky bass, and searing sax. Issued in an all-black sleeve, there was a veiled revolutionary spirit behind the album's hip modern sound that drew it to alliance with the work of contemporaries movement in the city, who also sought to bring South African jazz into the 1980s, along with a subtle edge of social realism. So finally, you can get that. And in addition to that, they also put out the one called Plum and Cherry. This is, again, Lionel Pillay, through We Are Busybodies. So the masterful interplay between drums and electric bass on this interpretation of Abdullah Ibrahim's Cherry induces a gently striding yet deep and spiritual groove at the same time. So while they basically repeat the same short riff throughout the song, their delicate shifts in accentuation and intonation make the whole 25 minutes kind of a magical and pure joy to listen to. Their approach feels very modern for the late 70s, and check that out. This is Pinhead Gunpowder. It's called Compulsive Disclosure. It's on the 1234 Go label. This is the fourth album by Pinhead Gunpowder. These 7-inch and compilation cuts were collected on CD by Lookout Records in 2003, but put aside immediately recalled version. This is Compulsive Disclosure's first vinyl release. The sound is a confluence of the members' other groups like Astrid Otto, the Influenced, the Foxborough Hot Tubs, plus all the melody and twice the spite of their combined force. This 12-song album, now including the blazing West Side Highway EP, is cut at 45 RPM on spring green opaque colored vinyl. And it just says here indie exclusive color vinyl, but it is that opaque spring green color. Okay, then we have Power Trip, Nightmare Logic. This is on Southern Lord label. This is the second crushing, soul-mangling, neck-busting album from the Texas hardcore thrashers, Power Trip. Quite possibly the best thrash album you will have ever heard in the last decade. It's immense. It's mammoth. This thing is massive. It's like the raw energy, musical proficiency, perfect song structure, rich tones, fierce riffs, persecution, and collective attitude have seeded them as one of the most prolific underground staples in the U.S. metal, punk, and hardcore scenes. This stuff, man, yeah. It's on orange color in color. So, like two sort of different shades of orange, right? I think that's the best way to explain it. Okay, this is Rise Against 10-inch. It's called Nowhere Generation 2. And this is on Loma Vista. And 2 decades into delivering social commentary via their blistering brand of punk rock, Rise Against's album Nowhere Generation may be their most poignant, as it sums up the struggles, injustices, and collective action of a whole generation. Their new single, Last Man Standing, is smooth in its most sensitive moments and roaring like a tempest at its peak. So it's brimming with punk rock spirit. It begs that we answer who and what is left if we continue on our current path. This is a red cover, black vinyl, 10-inch LP. Okay, now you ready for the biggie now? This is incredible. This is the Rolling Stones in mono. This is 16 albums, but they're all on different colored vinyl. Okay, and this is through the Abco label. The Rolling Stones in mono, limited color edition, features the entirety of the band's 1960s studio output, each pressed on a different color. 14 original mono albums are included in this set, including the UK and the US versions of Out of Our Heads and Aftermath. And also included is a special collection called Stray Cats. It's a 2 LP set incorporating every 1960s Rolling Stones track that isn't on the other 14 albums. Wow, this limited edition numbered box set includes a 48-page booklet and an essay by David Frick. Now, if you're not familiar with the name David Frick, you should be. He's an American music journalist. He serves as the senior editor at Rolling Stone magazine, where he writes predominantly about rock music, and he's just so knowledgeable that I'm sure if you don't think you know his name, you've probably read his stuff. Now, I'm going to show you the back of this too, because it gives you an idea of all the beautiful colors that they've assigned to each of these records. Okay, so you can just see it's a literal like rainbow of colored vinyl here, going all the way across. Beautiful stuff, right? So that thing, I mean, that's just something else. That's a whopper. Okay, Rolling Stones in mono. All right, and next up we have the silver. And this is called Ward of Roses, and it's on the Gilead Media label. Ward of Roses, they explore anxiety, love, and loss, and matters that make us all too human. This is their ethos. They allude to metallurgy, that like silver can only reach its intended shape, state, and purpose when hammered, set ablaze, and struck again. As the hymns of Ward of the Roses suggest, we're all tempered through all of our life experiences and traumas, emerging only after we have leapt through the flames of our personal abysses. It's a lofty thought process, but, I get it. It's good. This is Gothic metal. It's on translucent silver vinyl, and it does say that for you on the sticker. Next up, this is Sky. It's Skyline. This is a classic 1981 record. Now, this is on Salsoul Records as a New York octet, one of 3 funk and or disco bands in which producer keyboardist Randy Muller was involved. So their biggest hit was Call Me in 1981. It was an R&B chart topper, and they could do sweeping funk tracks, dance-oriented cuts, or light ballads, although they never seemed to enjoy the crossover excess of bands like Atlantic Starr did in that time. Anyway, this is on limited edition purple vinyl. It does tell you that on the sticker as well. Okay, then we have through Lakeshore Records. This is the soundtrack and cast of Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Double transparent, blue colored for Volume 1. And it's, Stranger Things, the breakout Netflix original series. It's a love letter to the 80s supernatural classics that captivated a generation. Volume 2 is double transparent red colored vinyl, and they're pressed in gatefold jackets. And this one is Volume 1, and this one here is Volume 2. And I believe it does tell you double EP. Okay, so they're calling it Max's Blue World Double LP Volume 1, and Vecna's Red World, red transparent with blue marble colored vinyl for Volume 2. Okay, so they've gone out. Anyway, I don't know. This is just the original score, so I couldn't really tell you unless you kind of are really a big fan of the show and you know what that music is about. I don't know, but anyway, very popular stuff, so I know it's sought after. Okay. This I know we've talked about before, and I'm trying to remember if maybe we talked about it on the blue vinyl, but anyway, this is Spirit Box Eternal Blue through Rise Records. It's a full-length debut originally released in 2021 on Rise. The album consists of 12 tracks each. That includes the hit singles Holy Roller, Circle With Me, and Constance, and features Sam Carter of Architects on the guest vocal on track number 3, Yellow Jacket. And this is a die cut that's really nice. I'm sure, like I said, I think we had the blue vinyl before. Anyway, this is the black vinyl now. Sorry, just don't want to cough on you. Okay, sometimes when I talk too much, I start getting ready to cough, so keep drinking water. Tarika Blue, this is self-titled on Chiaroscuro Records. This is a vinyl re-release of Takira Blues' classic second album, finally available here on Chiaroscuro Records. The limited edition translucent blue vinyl records spotlights the silky jazz fusion and mellow soul of this hypnotic first-rate 70s ensemble. Takira Blues' high level of musicianship is reminiscent of the Crusaders, matched with their infectious and hypnotic spirit, inspired Erykah Badu to sample Dreamflower for her Grammy-nominated monster hit, Didn't You Know? So resulting in platinum sales and millions of YouTube views and listeners. So this is the OG blue vinyl right there. And then we have the Heavy Hours. This is on BMG Rights Management. The musicians at heart of the Heavy Hours have been united for over a decade, first coming together in high school over a mutual love of diverse sounds and contemplative folk to wildly experimental post-rock. So in 2018, they've rechristened themselves as the Heavy Hours, inspired from a line in a William Butler Yeats autobiographies, and began fusing their questing spirit and relentless work ethic with an emphasis on more traditional songwriting and production, a purely American blend of folk, rock, and good feelings. So that's available now. Then we have a reissue here. This is kind of a super deluxe UFO, No Heavy Petting 2023. It's on the Chrysalis label. So this is a deluxe triple clear vinyl LP pressing in a gatefold jacket. It includes bonus live and acoustic tracks. It was originally released in 1975. No Heavy Petting is UFO's fifth studio album and last to be produced by 10 years after's Leo Lyons. So stepping up from the rawer sound of Force It, the album was the first to feature a permanent keyboard player in the band and gave a nod to what was to come. The album includes a number of tracks that were becoming staples of their live sets for many years, including Natural Thing and I'm a Loser. So again, clear vinyl, gatefold, deluxe version. This is an odd thing here. This is Walter Wegmuller. It's called Tarot. Okay, the label. Ready for this? Cosmici Cureri. Okay. Walter Wegmuller was born in 1937, died in 2020. He was a he was a Swiss Jewish artist who grew up in difficult circumstances in Bern. So after training in Basel, Bern, Paris, and London, he began his artistic career. In addition to painting and sculptural works, Walter Wegmuller occupied himself with the entire spectrum of art. So he gained widespread international attention, especially from 1974 onwards, when the publication of his Zigeuner Tarot, he made tarot cards, okay, and that's a familiar thing with some people. Zigeuner Tarot. He was successful at countless exhibitions in Europe and overseas and was repeatedly awarded prizes and distinctions. However, he never forgot his origins as a Verding child and Rome child from the Calderosh tribe. In 1973, he released the album Tarot with his all-star band. Okay, successful musicians like Klaus Schulze played in the band. There's a whole list of other German names that I don't know off the top of our heads we're particularly familiar with. So, but Klaus Schulze, I feel like a lot of us have heard of him. Anyway, it remained Walter Wegmuller's only foray into the world of music. I can't imagine what this really sounds like. I just don't know. Recorded and mixed in 1975, and it's all the songs are in German. Yeah, interesting. I wish I could say exactly what it was. I think, your mind just leans towards, it must be kind of psychedelic or something, but I'm not sure. I didn't have time to kind of throw it on. I don't even know if that's going to end up on Spotify for us to have a listen to, but anyway, I'm sure it's somebody's looking for that. It just occurred to me that I forgot to talk about Elliott Smith. This is alternate versions of Either Or on 7-inch. This is through Kill Rock Stars. 7-inch features alternate versions of some of Elliott Smith's greatest songs. Alternate versions offers a new perspective on one of his most highly acclaimed albums and separates them from the original cuts found on Either Or. This is on opaque white vinyl, and that's here for you now. Okay, so to close out, gosh, thanks for sitting in with me this long if you made it. This is cool, though. This kind of saving one of the best for last. This is Wilco, Cruel Country on DBPM Records. Now, Cruel Country is Wilco's universally acclaimed 12th studio album, available for the first time on vinyl. The double disc package is comprised of 21 country music inspired tracks recorded at the band's Chicago studio, The Loft. It was originally released in May of 2022, digital only, and in a limited pre-release CD edition for the June RSD drop. So anyway, band leader Jeff Tweedy, he's commented at length on the concept of the recording process of Cruel Country in numerous podcasts, online interviews, and print articles. And there have been elements of country music in everything we've ever done, he says. We've never been particularly comfortable with accepting that definition. The idea that I was making country music. But now, having been around the block a few times, we're finding it exhilarating to free ourselves within the form and embrace the simple limitation of calling the music we're making country. The album was recorded largely with Wilco playing live in the studio as a 6-man band, quietly savoring the chance to make music together after pandemic isolation. So this is on black or limited edition indie red white, and that will tell you on the sticker which one it is. Yeah, like this one here will say, first black vinyl, and then the other one will say red and white. Where is it? It's up here. Red and white vinyl. So it's a double. It's been like, a long time. People have been really waiting for this. So finally here for you now. And that's a wonderful thing. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, there's going to be stuff that you see on the list below that we didn't talk about today, but we can't sit here all day now, can we? We got to get moving. Anyway, please, if you get a moment, let me know if you would prefer for me to just pick 5 or 6 solid titles and then just give you the whole list in print down below so that these don't run on. We're reaching the 37-minute mark now. So if that's just too much for you, let me know. It won't hurt my feelings. Or if you're fine with just being able to speed ahead and hear what you want to hear, just let me know and we'll make it happen. So again, thanks for sitting in today, and I will see you next time. Everybody have a great weekend. Hope you found something you're interested in, and see you later. Bye.